second. Hey, Keith the Six here of Metal Detecting in Alaska. You know, it's that time of the year here in Fairbanks, Alaska, when the temperatures fall below zero. You really shouldn't be using your metal detector, but as usual, I'm going to winterize my detector for the harsh environment here in the interior of Alaska. And instead of using my Fisher Gold Bug this year, I'm going to be using the Bounty Hunter Time Ranger Pro and put it through its paces in sub-zero freezing temperatures. So let's winterize this thing and I'll show you how it's done. Well, it was a cold night here last night. Got down to 20 below, but it's warmed up to -9. So yeehaw. So I've been winterizing my metal detector now for probably 15 years or more. And the same metal detector I've been using every year still works fine. So I think this works, and I've had that metal detector out in really cold weather. So I think it actually works to do this when you go out. I know if I didn't do it, everything would be cracked. Who knows what would happen to the electronics. But at least this can give you the ability to get out in the wintertime. And this year I'm going to winterize my Bounty Hunter Time Ranger Pro. So one of the first things you need is some of this pipe insulation. And I'm going to use the Frost King. And my wife picked this up for me. She did get a little bit too small, so I may have to use 1 or 2 to cover this. And something I'm going to try for the first time this year is I have one of these it's like a sock that you put on a wound, like if you're going to put a cast on somebody or wrap up their arm or leg, you put this over their skin. Well, I'm going to put this over the shaft and the coil cable before I wrap it with this polyethylene foam. And then I'm going to wrap it all in electric tape. It seems to me like this works the best. I've tried a bunch of different kinds. Duct tape is just, it gets brittle in the wintertime sometimes. But and then I have my homemade fleece, triple layer fleece cover that I have made, and that inner layer that's white is where I dissected one of those electric socks. You know, you can buy those electric heated socks for hunting. Well, I took one of those apart and dissected it, put it in there, and then there are 2 or 3 more layers of regular fleece around that. So when it gets really cold, I can plug in a power pack, which, you know, it's 4 double D batteries, so that adds some weight to the detector. But at the same time, it has those heat coils, and that will help heat it. But I mainly use this little pocket in the back, and I'll just stick a couple hand warmers in there and then button it up, and that seems to keep the detector really warm. But when it's 40, 50 below, I do plug in the electric sock also. But I originally made this for my Fisher Gold Bug, but you know what? The Time Ranger Pro is so similar that this fits right bam on there. So I'll be able to use that cover on the Time Ranger Pro. Alright, so let's get started, and let's open up these foam rolls, get this all wrapped, and then we'll put the cover on last. Alright, so next let's try to put the foam around there. So this takes a lot of custom cutting. You basically just have to figure out the length you need and then take a pair of scissors, and the stuff is really easy to trim. Alright, so now it's time to wrap it all with some electric tape. And this is kind of what it will look like after you wrap it with some electric tape. I just got started, so not even a fourth of the way across yet. So let me finish wrapping this up and I'll show you what the rest of it looks like. Alright, so there's the easy part done. Just wrapping the main shaft and the coil that's underneath it, or the coil cord. So now what I think is the hard part is you have to cut little custom pieces to cover the remaining cord here, because you don't want to leave that exposed in the sub-zero temperatures, because this will crack, and then when you take it in the water it won't work good. So, you know, this is what I'm doing. I don't really suggest that everybody do this, because if you have a warranty on your metal detector, I don't know if this would void it or not. I mean, they have suggested ranges, you know, like this one goes down to 14 degrees above zero. So if I'm taking it out in 20, 30, 40 below zero and something happens to it, then I don't know if it would be covered. So anyways, let's wrap these and then we'll see what it looks like, and then we'll try on the cover. Well, I used a whole piece on the main shaft with the cord under it, but you're not going to need that much just to do this. So what I usually end up doing is cutting this in half, and then you can make a smaller. So that's what I'm going to do here, is cut this in half. And now you can make a smaller diameter to go around this. See, now you have to custom cut it. You just want to try to protect this as much as possible. Now I've actually had some ideas. Now I invented this heated cover. I don't think anybody's ever done that before, and I just thought, how can I do it? So I came up with this. I also have an idea for a heated sock to put on there that will actually keep this shaft warm. And I've been working on an Arctic version of a metal detector. So you never know, one day you might see the Keithy 6 special Alaska Arctic metal detector. It'll probably weigh 20 pounds, but it will have heated grips. See? Alright, so I think we just about got that, so let's try to tape that up. Alright, so that didn't turn out too bad. So we're just trying to protect that cable that runs down to the coil. Alright, so we have one more left to do down here on this end. Alright, and there you go. It's crazy looking spiral. Alright, well, let's go ahead and try to put the cover on. Now I have Velcro on the bottom, so once I put it on, then these go around the bottom and Velcro it into place. Ah, look at that. Snug as a bug in a rug. Alright, so let me get all this Velcroed down. Well, one thing when you're doing this is it's really never going to look all that pretty. the main thing is hopefully you're keeping what's important warm. Well, I hope this helps somebody out. This keeps me from getting cabin fever in the winter here in Fairbanks, Alaska. And you get tired of being inside all the time, and metal detecting is one of my favorite hobbies, so I found a way to make it happen. Alright, so let's take it outside and give it a try. Well, now I'm ready to hunt in conditions like this. Man, I feel like I can do anything with this metal detector.